Afternoon. My name is Debbie. Welcome to my channel. We are in the afternoon session of Tennessee v. Brandon Isabelle, the baby in the river trial. I hate that name. Bye, Carla, if you're still here and can hear me. Bye, we will miss you. Hey, Nichelle. Hey, Judy. I am so tired, y'all. I don't know why I'm so tired, but I'm tired. My dog talked to Judy. They're plotting against me. I don't know what's going on. It's still on my phone, but I can't understand what he's saying. It's just a bunch of squeaks. But I guess I'll find out next month. Right, Spike? Right? Now he has nothing to say. So I just saw this story on YouTube. Nick Freitas, he's a state representative for Virginia, and he has some serious, I think it's YouTube shorts. I don't think it's TikToks that end up on YouTube. I think it's YouTube shorts. He has some serious ones and he has some funny ones. This one was a serious one. He said that he knows a nurse that works in the ER, and he said, when you know people like that, you know, you ask them what weird stories they have, and so they asked their friend any weird stories, and she said, yeah, there was a teenager that didn't really want to unalive herself, but just was like a cry for help. So she took a whole bunch of Tylenol. And they took her to the emergency room. And they had to tell her that she succeeded in unaliving herself. That her kidneys... No, it's not kidneys. Tylenol's not kidneys. It's liver. Tylenol's liver. Great, now I'm confused. I'm going to have to look it up. Tylenol's liver, yeah. That her liver was shutting down, and she only had about 2 weeks left to live. So you can kill yourself by ODing on Tylenol. And I have had patients that have done it as a peds nurse. So just putting that out there. Everybody thinks that Tylenol is harmless. It's not. And it's a horrible way to go. Just saying. Just saying. They're not back yet. I didn't figure they would be. I think court times are just a suggestion. But oh, God forbid if you're late, you get in trouble. But the court can be late all they want to. I think that, let me see. Ibuprofen is the one that's bad for your kidneys, and Tylenol is the one that's bad for your liver. Because I had a patient that she couldn't take Tylenol. She was 19, I think. She had liver disease. She couldn't take Tylenol because of that. Her liver was so enlarged, she looked like she was pregnant. And she couldn't get a liver transplant because when she was a kid, she had leukemia, I think. And if she had gotten a liver transplant, she would have had to take immunosuppressants in order to not reject the new liver. And then the cancer would have come back. Yeah. Yeah. So, and I don't remember why she had the liver disease. I don't think it was from taking Tylenol in that case. But liver disease. And then when I was in nursing school, I took care of a guy that had liver disease from alcohol use. You guys just treat your liver well is all I'm going to say, because that's a horrible way to die. I've seen it in the young and the old, and either way, you don't want to do it. Trust me. It's awful. Awful, awful. Boy, I'm just a ray of sunshine today, aren't I? No, I'm just like, I know I don't like to get into politics on this channel, but people are putting poison in their body just because they don't like our president. That's stupid. I'm sorry, but that's stupid. It's stupid. That's chemicals. It's stupid. Oh, that's hilarious. I love it. Yeah, I have to get blood tests for my kidney and my liver because I'm on. You see all those in there? That's just nighttime. That's from being, yeah, and don't be overweight either. Now, it's not all from being overweight. And I know that sounds like an excuse and a cop-out, but my family's overweight. My family has cardiac disease. My family has arthritis. Both of my grandmothers on both sides of my family had bad knees. They both had both knees replaced. So it's not all just being overweight. It's also family genetics is why I'm overweight and why I have high blood pressure and why I have, I don't have high cholesterol. I have high lipidemia, which high lipids. I have hyperlipidemia, which is fat, like fat in my blood. The diabetes, nobody in my family's diabetic. So that one we can blame on the fat. But the rest of my family's fat and they don't have diabetes. So how the heck did I get diabetes? I don't know. I don't have it anymore. I'm pre-diabetic, which is stupid. I lost 70 pounds. Was it last year? Yeah, last year. From March to October, I lost 70 pounds. So I am now pre-diabetic. How do you go back to being pre? Yet I'm still on diabetic medicine. I'm still supposed to check my blood sugar. I still have to go in every 3 months and have my 3-month sugar checked. That's still diabetic as far as I'm concerned. But no, I'm pre-diabetic. Okay, whatever. So, I think, because what day? There was one day, I don't remember. There was one day where we were here all day. I was here all day streaming. And then I think I had to mod for another stream or something. So I was sitting here all day long and my feet were swollen. And my feet don't normally swell. And like if they do, I'll go to my doctor. Like if they swell for 2 or 3 days in a row, I'll go to my doctor. He'll give me Lasix, which is a diuretic. And that's kind of where I'm headed with my story here. So I'll go to the doctor and he'll give me a diuretic and say, take this for 3 days and then stop and you should be fine. So it's like we just get the water off. But see, now, and it could be caffeine, because caffeine works as a diuretic too. So, like, yesterday, I weighed 206. This morning, I weighed 210. How did I gain 4 pounds in a day, unless it's water? But I haven't, like, had any Oh, I had soda last night. Soda has sodium in it, which is salt. I wonder if that's it. But it also has caffeine in it, which would make me pee. What about the cucumbers? Don't tell me cucumbers are bad. Because if I have to give up cucumbers, I'm not going to be happy. But I drink, every once in a while, I'll skip a morning coffee. But most mornings, I have 1 to 2 cups of coffee. But I never thought about, okay, I'm trying to figure it out, y'all, because I'm stuck. Oh, just being silly. Okay, good. Oh. If you can dream it, you can do it. I bought this for my food diary. I've started writing down what I eat because I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know why I'm stuck. And I don't know. I have no idea why I'm stuck. Maybe I need to start writing down what I drink too. That's what I do. Keurig pods, 2 a day. That the most is 2 a day. And sometimes it's only 1. And then sometimes I'd skip. Usually when I skip is on the weekends. Or if I don't have coffee creamer. I've quit putting artificial sweetener or sugar in it and just do cream in it now. And sometimes it's a sugar-free cream. Right now I don't have sugar-free cream. But are you kidding me? I wasn't caught up to live again. I'm sorry, y'all. I was like, there's no way they're not back yet. What is going on? I'm so glad you guys like me because I am such a freaking airhead. Oh, they have Twix that's sugar-free. It is so hard for me to find the good flavored sugar-free where I live. Because I live out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we have a super Walmart in the next town over. But even there, because we're out in the country, they don't think we're sophisticated enough to get the good stuff. I don't know. I have found the pumpkin spice sugar-free like 1 time, I think. That's why I don't have any sugar-free right now, because I wanted the pumpkin spice. And I was like, oh, well, I have no choice. If I want pumpkin spice, it's got to have the sugar in it. So, okay, guys, I'm sorry. I gotta be more observant. I said what? I say a lot of things. Oh, that I need to be more observant. Yes, I do.
Hi, welcome back. Feeling good? Cool. Good. Don't go to sleep on me if they start shutting off these lights, all right? That's all I ask. State Tennessee, please call your next witness.
State calls Officer Ronald Blake.
Officer Blake, come forward. Watch your step. Stand right here, face you, and raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
I swear.
Please have a seat. Watch your step. Go ahead, please.
Would you please state and spell your name for the jury?
My name is Ronald Blake. That is Ronald. Last name Blake.
And where are you employed?
With the U.S. Police Department. Do you want where I am now?
Where are you
or-
currently assigned?
Okay, I'm assigned to a Crump Station, Bravo shift.
And where were you assigned back on February 2nd of 2022?
I was assigned to Rain Station on Bravo shift.
And tell the jury what Bravo shift is.
That's at that time it was the 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. shift.
And what did you do when you were back at Rain Station as an officer? Were you a patrol officer?
Yes, I was a patrol officer.
Can you just tell the jury a little bit about what the responsibilities are of a patrol officer?
So our responsibilities, of course, are to patrol our neighborhoods. We have what are called wards, assigned wards, where we answer calls for service as well as do traffic enforcement and self-initiated activities to try to, curb crime and, serve our community.
So back on February 2nd of 2022, did you go out on a call at 5255 Elvis Presley Boulevard?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is located there?
A Walmart.
And do you remember about what time of day you responded?
I don't know the exact time, but I know it was in the afternoon, maybe between 1 and 2 p.m.
Was it getting toward the end of your shift?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you end up speaking with a citizen named Ralph Carter?
Yes, ma'am.
And did he direct you to something a little bit out of the ordinary at the Walmart?
Yes, he did. A baby car seat.
And where was that located?
It was on the west side of the building, the Walmart, which is like the rear of the business.
I'm going to hand you a USB drive and see if you recognize it.
Yes, ma'am.
When you responded to that call on that day, were you wearing a body-worn camera?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that a clip from your body-worn camera?
Yes.
I'm going to ask that that be the next exhibit, Exhibit 115. permission to publish?
Go ahead, please.
Officer Blake, what are we seeing?
That'll be me exiting my squad car. And I believe that's Mr. Carter directing me to where the baby car seat was.
And where are we, as far as the Walmart, are we,
At that point, we're at the rear of the business, as I said, on the west side of the building.
and is Mr. Carter just explaining to you what he saw?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what are you doing right now?
At this point, I was trying to review because I think a picture was going around of the child that was missing, and there was a car seat that the child was sitting in. I was trying to compare the one that was in front of me to the one from the picture.
Did it appear to be similar to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, first off, okay, we see some dumpsters here. Are those actually locked?
Yes.
And at some point, while you're out on the scene, did it start raining?
Yes, ma'am.
And did somebody cover the car seat with plastic to protect it?
Yes.
And was that to protect it till crime scene came out?
That's correct.
And did crime scene make this scene?
Yes, ma'am.
And did they actually take possession of that car seat?
Yes, ma'am.
Objection leading. Can you not lead? I can
Okay,
ask
witness.
every one of those questions
Go
without
ahead,
leading.
please. Thank you, sir. You may sit down. Please call your next witness.
We're on the state of Tennessee called Special Agent Michael Garner.
I don't think she knows how to ask questions without leading. What was the weather like that day? It
Special
was
Agent
raining.
Garner, come forward.
Did you do anything to protect the car seat because of the weather? Yes, we covered it with plastic. So
What'd you
much
steal?
better questions.
Stand right here, face your raise your right hand.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Please have a seat. Watch your step.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you please state your name and spell it for the jury?
My name is Michael Garner, Michael Garner.
And where do you work?
I'm employed with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, TBI.
Specifically, what is your job duty and job title?
I'm currently assigned to the Digital Forensics Squad that's under the Cyber Crimes and Digital Evidence Unit with the TBI.
As a
That
member
wasn't
of the
cross. That was
Tennessee Bureau of
direct.
Investigation, do you go by Special Agent?
Yes, that's correct.
Special Agent Garner, how long have you been with the TBI?
I got hired on with the TBI July of last year, so just over a year.
Prior to working with the TBI, where did you work?
I was employed with the Memphis Police Department. I was a detective with MPD for 20 years, and then I retired.
At the time you left MPD to go to the Tennessee
I
Bureau of
know.
Investigation,
So sick
what
of
was your
digital
job assignment
forensics.
at MPD?
I was a detective with the Digital Forensics Unit, so I did the exact same job with Memphis Police Department that I did with the TBI.
What does a digital forensics examiner do?
We receive evidence of anything that would have any kind of storage media on it. So DVRs, cell phones, GPS trackers. The majority of the work, though, is cell phones.
What type of educational background do you have to be a special agent with the TBI doing digital forensic examinations?
The TBI requires that you have a bachelor's degree. I have an associate's in information systems. I have a bachelor's in criminal justice, kind of minored in mechanical engineering. I haven't finished that one up yet. And I've got a master's in cybersecurity.
Do you have any other training or credential certifications as to your experience and knowledge as a digital forensics examiner?
Yes. As a digital forensics examiner, I hold a mobile device examiner certification from the National Computer Forensics Institute that's hosted by the U.S. Secret Service. I also hold a mobile device examiner certification from the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists. And I've got, those are my non-innovation in Celebrite as a Celebrite certified operator and Celebrite certified physical analyst, and Magnet Axiom and Graykey. Graykey is this hardware that does the extractions for us. That holds certifications in every piece of hardware and software that we use in our office.
Are there any specialized schools that you've gone to?
The ISIS MDE and the NCFI MDE were specialized training. And then I just recently finished the NCFI Basic Computer Evidence Recovery Training, and that was 5 weeks. And I just received that at the end of August.
You mentioned about a lot of the credentials that you have. Do you have to do anything to maintain those?
Yes. So most of the vendor training, their products update quite often, so you have to maintain your credentials. They expire every 2 years, and I keep my credentials maintained through the vendors. And then the other certifications require recertification every 3 years. And to recertify, I have to show that I've had a certain number of physical extractions from phones and a certain number of training hours, continuing education tracking. And I do that quarterly, every year.
Are you up to date on your continuing education training?
Yes, sir, and probably a little ahead after this basic computer evidence recovery training.
About how many extractions of mobile devices do you think you performed in your career?
Over 1,000 since 2020.
What about more forensic, in-depth digital forensics using Celebrite or something like that? How many times do you think you've done that with a mobile device?
Almost every device. With each of the devices, the software only can operate at a certain level, and no software is the same. So if you're wanting to get the most evidence out of a device, you want to use it against all software, which is why I hold certifications with Magnet and Celebrite.
You're at this time in Tennessee with tenure Special Agent Michael Garner as an expert in the field of digital forensics.
No objection.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Special Agent Garner, I'd like to direct your attention back to February 2nd of 2022. Where were you working at that time?
I was with the Memphis Police Department Digital Forensics Squad at that time.
Were you working on that day?
Yes, sir, I was.
Did you have any involvement with the investigation of a case concerning the victims Danielle Hoyle and Kennedy Hoyle?
I did, yes. The homicide sergeants brought down a device to the office. There were a couple of us in there, and I received an iPhone from an artesian steward that I did the extraction on. That was my initial involvement.
How do you do an extraction on a cell phone?
So one of the first things that we like to do is, if you've got the passcode, enter in the passcode, make sure that it opens the device. And then the software that we use, you can do kind of a rough, real quick extraction called the logical. Just plug it into a Celebrite and just pull it real quick. But to be real thorough, we use Graykey and try and get a physical extraction. And that is just it's a little box that we go and we plug the device into. We make sure that the information that's pulled from the device is uncorrupted. And I say that because sometimes computers burn. We get problems with computers. And we check that through hash values. So when Graykey does that extraction, it hashes that data. And then we just verify that hash hasn't changed. That what we got from the phone was actually what was on the phone.
You mentioned there's different types of extractions. In this case, what type of extraction was performed?
In this case, I did a full file system on Artesian Stewart's phone.
Was that successful?
That was, yes.
You were talking about hash values. It generated a hash value as well?
Yes, sir.
Did you also receive an extraction in the form of Celebrite of another phone that had already been extracted by another investigator at Memphis Police Department?
Yes. I had actually received what's called a UFED report. It's a Celebrite report that it took that raw data, which is all ones and zeros, because the cell phone is a computer, and it translates it into human readable text so we can see what the device was doing, what was going on. And that UFED report, that's what I received.
And to your knowledge, who did that phone belong to?
Brandon Isabelle.
When you go through and look at a phone forensically, what type of data is in there?
Pull your phone out of your pocket. It's everything is there. Your calls, your texts, depending on the apps you have on your phone, your banking information, media. And sometimes we just hop on the web and watch YouTube. So everything is on that device, and we can see everything that the phone reports. We can see.
Is it also enable you to see even just things within the software, the system settings on the phone?
Yes.
May we approach for just a moment? I'm sorry.
Pardon me,
Yes, ma'am.
ladies and gentlemen.
I don't like the name Celebrate. It's too close to celebrate. And every time we hear it, we are definitely not celebrating. I don't like it. I don't know if the camera will pick this up or not. Can you guys see in there? Do you see all the little flakes of purple and gold? And I don't have enough. I think I'm gonna have to order more. It's my Halloween color. It's got gold and green and purple flakes, and it's black. It's called Witch's Brew. And I think I ordered it from a group off Facebook. I gotta figure out where I ordered it and get more. I don't think I have enough to do a whole hand. Maybe a hand, but not both. I broke that nail this morning, so I gotta redo it. I don't even know what you thought she said. I have the hardest time finding emojis. I don't know why. You guys that throw up emojis so fast.
To review specifically, what did you look at?
It's impressive.
Initially, I was only asked to look at location information from Brandon and Isabel's phone, and then later was asked to review call logs between Brandon and Danielle, Brandon and Artesia, messages between Brandon and Danielle, Brandon and Artesia, and web history searches that were conducted on the phone.
In looking at all this data, did you generate a report in the form of a PowerPoint?
Yes, sir, I did.
I requested permission to approach the pass document.
Go ahead, please.
Special Agent Garner, I passed you a document. Do you recognize it?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what is it?
This was the document that originally created back in 2022 that contained the location information that was requested.
Is that the report we were just talking about?
Yes, sir, it is.
Here, at this time, the state asks that it be marked as State's Exhibit number 116.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to that actual PowerPoint being entered. This is not a report, this is a PowerPoint. As a demonstrative exhibit, I have no objection, but to actually be entered as an exhibit, I think that it contains information that is more than just the report.
Your Honor, this is, he testified that he looked at phones, found different data, and generated a report in the form of PowerPoint format that's been printed out. This is what he found in the phone based on his experience, and it's an expert report, Your Honor. It was provided to defense as well, and pursuant to the rules of evidence, the state is asking to admit this as into evidence as an expert report.
Overruled. I'll allow it, Exhibit 116. Expert report provided by Special Agent Garner.
They objected to admitting Celebrite data?
We're going to be requesting permission to publish.
Go ahead, please.
I need to get that shirt. Biggin has a shirt that says never trust a fart. I need to get that shirt. That should be like the motto for people with IBS.
I may also pass to the witness a digital laser pointer.
Is it gonna work today?
It should, Your Honor. I tested it a moment ago. And especially as you guard that top button, if you press and hold, that will be the digital laser pointer. The bottom two control the slides. Looking at this first slide, is this just the cover page of your report?
Yes, sir, it is.
And what about the second page?
This was just kind of the explanation of what was going to be following in the report. Sergeant Boyd had asked me to prepare the locations information just so he could review it, and that's all that is.
Moving forward to the third page.
So over this, the purpose of this presentation of my report to Sergeant Boyd is just kind of an overview of the homicide cases that was relayed to me. The explanation of the cell phone artifacts that I looked at to generate this report, and then the mapping of those artifacts that I retrieved from the phone itself.
What do we see here in this slide? Go ahead.
And from what Sergeant Boyd had informed me was that on February 1st, 2022, Danielle Hoyle was found by uniformed patrol officers while on patrol. She had been shot and was lying in the mud beside her car. That was the information that was given to me. The location of the incident was Levi Road, west of Sedgwick Road. And I took the location incident based on the GPS of that reporting officer's PDA while writing the report. So it's not actually the homicide scene that you see pinned in my report, but where that officer was sitting while he was taking that report. And that's where I got that location information from. Sergeant Boyd had given me a search warrant that was signed for the extraction of iPhone 11 belonging to Brandon Isabelle. He actually provided that to Sergeant Bledsoe, not to me. Sergeant Bledsoe was in my office. The locations were exported from a Celebrite UFDR report and was completed by the Memphis Police Department's Digital Forensic Unit. That was completed by Sergeant Bledsoe. I took that report to generate the locations. The time frame Sergeant Boyd asked for was midnight on February 1st, 2022 through February 2nd, 2022 at 7 a.m. That was the time frame he initially asked me for.
I'm not putting this conversation on the screen,
Is this
but if
a
replay wants to
photograph
know
of
why
the
I'm
area
laughing,
where the
turn chat
homicide
replay
occurred?
on.
So that is the corner of Sedgwick and Levi Road. That's where the police, the patrol officer was sitting as he was taking that report. So that's the pin on my, that's from Google Earth. I placed a pin right there showing where the officer was sitting to, I guess, kind of anchor my report right there.
And to be clear, Special Agent Garner,
God, you guys.
throughout here, there's some Google Earth images, correct?
Correct.
Those are not aerial photographs taken on February 1st of 2022, correct?
That's correct.
They're
Yes, sir.
just photographs from Google to give a geographic reference?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is showing geographically where the homicide scene is. And that's what that red pin is.
That's that red pin, yes, sir.
And will we see that red pin kind of throughout your report?
Yes.
Moving forward, significant locations. What is this?
So the database that I looked at inside the phone is referred to as significant locations. This database is where the phone stores any kind of GPS location that it receives. The device is always trying to figure out where it is. It bases on its location, and it compares it against that it also downloads. So as you're moving across the city, it knows where you are, but it also compares you to the cell site list, so it can find the closest available cellular network tower to provide you the best service possible. It also can do some advertising ID stuff, because the device is always looking to see where it is. And this database that I pulled the locations from is that database, the most reliable location information from a phone, from an iPhone, I should say.
So are going to be different types of location information on an iPhone?
Absolutely, yes.
But we're looking specifically at the one where it is communicating with the satellites to see where it is.
Yes.
Is that necessary for the phone to function properly with communicating with the towers?
If it wants to communicate properly, yes. And if your phone did not communicate properly, you would not buy it. So yes,
And so that's the data you're using here.
that is correct.
What is this?
So you can't really see this, but this is the device information. This is a screenshot from the UFDR report that I received from Sergeant Bledsoe. And what I did was just the device, the UDID, and then right down here, if we can move forward one. What's highlighted right there in that red circle is the device IMEI, the International Mobile Equipment Identifier. When I extracted the locations and I uploaded those locations into a piece of software called CellHawk, that's how that device was listed in that software. And I'm showing that the device that I had and that locations that I uploaded, they're from the same device.
So the IMEI, is that unique to every individual device?
Yes,
It's almost like a fingerprint.
it is the phone social security number, yes.
And so that was the phone social security number or the phone IMEI for Brandon Isabel's phone.
Yes, sir.
Now, on these next few slides, you have a few different maps created, correct?
Yes,
With dots on the map.
yes.
Is that using that GPS location data from the phone where it's trying to communicate with the towers that you were talking about a minute ago?
Yes.
And to map it, did you have to use some type of application to make it all appear neat on a map?
Yes. So I exported the GPS locations from the UFDR report. It allowed me to create a report from itself. And then I could upload that report into a piece of software called CellHawk that would help me map that out.
If you were just looking at the location data in Celebrate and not upload it to CellHawk, what would you be looking at? Just a bunch of coordinates?
You would just see date, time, the IMEI, and a bunch of GPS latitude and longitudes. Yes.
So the CellHawk then plots those latitude and longitude coordinates and then labels them by time.
Correct.
So tell us what we're looking at here in this slide.
So right here, this from midnight to 7:55, I cut out a lot because the device did not move, and it was concentrated right there at the Regional One Health downtown Memphis. And this little call out right here, that's at 7:55, that's just showing that the device has finally left that cluster of dots and is leaving that area. That's the only reason that call out is right there.
Regional 1, that's a place that some people call the Med,
The
right?
Med, that's the hospital, yes, trauma center.
So when we're looking at these dots, right, they're kind of all over the map in certain areas, right? But there's really a cluster there at the Med.
Yes.
What does it mean when you see a darker clustering of dots?
So those are just the dots that are overlaying each other, just compounded. So the lighter the dot, there's probably just one marker there, but the darker, the more overlay of the dots.
Just dots are just stacking on top of each other, getting
Yes.
darker.
Yes.
And then I think you kind of pointed this out a second ago, but the box you have down there at the bottom, I think there's a yellow dot that the arrow of the box is pointing to.
Yes.
Is that showing us a particular location at a particular time?
Correct. Yes.
What's the significance of that particular box on that dot?
That's just that at 7:55, that device was no longer within this cluster of dots. It was just carrying your eye that the device is leaving that area.
It's on the move.
It is moving, yes.
Moving to the next slide, what are we looking at here?
So this is the route overview for the next time frame, which we'll see on the next slide. But that green, that's the start, that's the hospital downtown, the med, and then where the device stops, out east Memphis at near Poplar and Estate. So just tracking your eyes that it started here
Hey,
and
Carla.
then comes down and across Interstate 240 back up to Poplar. So just kind of help your eyes know where the device started and where it ended.
So in drawing this line, are you tracing the location dots as they're going down the road?
The software is, yes.
Okay. And so this is the route that the phone took.
That's correct.
You get from the green triangle, the starting point of the med, to the red octagon stop sign looking symbol there out east.
Yes.
What do we have here?
So this is the area where the red stop sign was, where the device stopped. And so it left the downtown area at 7:55, and at 8:17, between 8:17 and 11:02 a.m., that cluster of dots is where that device was. And a Google search of that location showed it was the LeBonner East Surgery Center right off of Poplar.
Is there also an oral surgery center in that area too on the map?
There may be, I cannot see it. Let me see if it's any better on. Yes, this, can't really read it from here, but that's the oral and maxillological surgery center. I butchered that one pretty bad, sorry.
Maxillofacial?
Close enough.
Close enough?
Maxillofacial,
I'll move on.
yes.
And so that time, this is showing a big cluster of dots there, correct?
Yes,
And that's from,
that's from 8:17 to 11:02.
so during that time window, all the pings are coming back just right there in that area we're saying.
That huge cluster, now you've got the outliers here, and that happens when your device doesn't see as many GPS satellites, so then it's not as accurate. So the more satellites you see, the more accurate the locations are going to be. So that's why you get a concentration. If the device sits somewhere for long enough, its location accuracy is just spot on.
Where does that phone go to next?
So this route overview it was a little tricky to kind of map out because we've got to start there at the oral surgery center and then around the park and then ends up down here in South Memphis off Brooks Road. No, the Brooks Road is there. It's south of Brooks Road. We're going to zoom in on that in just a second, but if we can move forward one slide. So what happened, and I manually put in that little pink line right there because the device started in that area and it moved down Poplar and then kind of went around the Shelby Farms before it got back on 240 and headed back out west. So that's why I put the little loop there because there's no other way I could have shown that movement without playing like a video. So I added that little loop in just to show you how the device moved.
And so when you read the data on the map, before you made the pink arrow, the data telling you that what time each dot is?
Yes,
And so as you follow the time of each dot, that's the pattern it led you to.
yes. And my software allows me to animate this, so I'm not just looking at a static map. I can click a button and drag a slider, and then I can look at each minute for each, I think I can get it down to a second, and watch how that device moves over a specified amount of time, whether it's 1 hour or 1 minute.
So it looks like the phone's phone started going east down Poplar,
It did.
and it then proceeded north up to get to Humphreys Boulevard.
Yes, Humphreys Boulevard.
Then went north on Germantown.
Humphreys there, north on Germantown, then west on Walnut Grove, back to 240, and then south.
And just took that 240 loop all the way down to the Brooks Road area.
Yes, sir.
Now, what are we looking at in this slide?
Now, this slide is actually where the device ended up at 11:48, and then it was down there from 11:48 to 11:55. And this little street, it went up that street and back down. And then I left the pin from where the officer was taking the homicide report right there. I left it on the map just to show the proximity that at 11:48 on 2-1, that device traveled down to Mark Street in the area of that where the officer was taking the homicide report.
So, on February 1st of 2022, from 11:48 a.m. to 11:55 a.m., Brandon Isabelle's device was in this area. Is that Mark Road?
Yes, yes, sir, it is.
It's in this area near, and there's that red flag.
That red
What's
pin.
that red flag?
That red pin is where the officer was sitting taking the report for the homicide.
But this is at 11:48 a.m. to 11:55 a.m.
Yes, sir. And that call out right there, that's what that box is called. That is just a little call out. That little call out box is showing that at 11:48, that's where that device was. I'm sorry, at 11:54, that device was right there about to leave the scene.
Specifically in that little turn on Mark Road.
Yes, sir.
Where did the defendant's phone go next?
So from that green triangle down near the homicide scene, it went up north, Midtown 240, North 40, and then out Interstate 40 eastbound to the stopping area.
So going back a little bit, in the past couple slides, the phone went from this area of the surgery center on Poplar and Estate, around Shelby Farms, down to Brooks Road, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then it went on to Mark Road, correct?
Yes, sir.
Where it appeared to just turn around and go back this direction?
Yes, sir.
And is that in the Cordova area where the stop sign is? The
It
red
is.
Octagon?
It is, yes.
This is in the middle, or this is kind of 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock-ish in the day.
Yes, sir. Midday. And here at 1225, the address was at an address off Rock Creek Parkway, and then it went to the Walmart Supercenter right there on Stage Road at 1239. So it started there, the address off Rock Creek comes up and moves to the Walmart.
So it went to the address off Rock Creek, and then arrived at Walmart by 12:39?
That call out box there is 1239, yes.
But it looks like it first went by the Rock Creek address, and it was there by around 12:25 a.m., correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Where did it go next after going to the Walmart location?
When the device left the Walmart location, it did go back to this address off Rock Creek Parkway. And it was there from 1:20 p.m. to 7:10 p.m. Was there about 6 hours. And that at 7-Eleven, that device then leaves that address on Rock Creek, which of course is the start, the green triangle. And then it just heads south to an address off of Walnut Grove to the octagon there.
There at the top of the screen, there appears to be a kind of blue aqua colored pen next to the green triangle.
Yes.
What is that?
So that pin was placed there by me in the software, and that's the address I was given that belonged to Brad and Isabelle.
Is that the Blackberry address? Going back to though, looking where the stop sign was, going back one slide.
Yes.
Is that pin for the address for Brandon and Isabelle in this area where the cluster of the blue dots is?
Yes. That pin was, and I removed the pin so as not to cover up the cluster right there.
Moving back forward from this route, where did he go to from the Blackberry address off Rock Creek?
So when it left that address on Rock Creek and traveled southbound, it wound up in the Walnut Hill Apartments, and it come in off Walnut Grove, headed kind of northbound, and then kind of clustered around right there from 7:24 to 7:31 that evening.
This is still February 1st,
Yes, sir.
2022, correct?
Correct.
Once it left the Rock Creek Apartments, where did the defendant's phone go?
So leaving the apartments, then down Walnut Grove to Germantown, up to Germantown to a Walmart.
Is that the Walmart there on Germantown Parkway?
It is. And the next slide here. So from 7:36 p.m. to 7:49 p.m., that device was at the Walmart Supercenter on North Germantown, right there at Germantown and Trinity. There's Trinity right there. And the device pulled in the parking lot, kind of walked through the Walmart and back down.
And then did he leave the Walmart at 7:40, or the device leaves Walmart at 7:49 p.m.?
So that call-out box right there is the device leaving the Walmart, so yes.
So that's where when we talk about 7:49 p.m., that's a 7:49 p.m. Pin.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Where did Mr. Isabel's phone go to next?
So when that device left that Walmart, the green triangle, it drove northbound on Germantown to Rock Creek, and then went back to the address off Rock Creek Parkway.
Is that the blue pen, the address you have for him on Blackberry?
Yes. Yes, it is. And then from 7:58 p.m. to 8:05, that device stayed at that address.
Did you put a green pen there in this photograph?
I did.
What's that green pen?
I changed the color of the pen and labeled it Isabelle's house.
So, Brandon Isabel's phone went back to his house and was there from 7:58 p.m. to around 8:05 p.m. in the vicinity of his house.
Yes, sir.
So going back one slide. So at 8:05 p.m., where did Brandon Isabel's phone leave home and go to?
So at 8:05, it left the green triangle. We're going to start there, up to Highway 64, State Road, down Interstate 40, southbound, then westbound 240, back down to an address down off Brooks Road. That's where the red octagon is.
This is the second time we're coming back today, on that same day, February 1st of 2022. His phone is coming back down to the area of Brooks Road.
Yes, sir.
Specifically, where on Brooks Road does his phone go to at 8:32 p.m.?
At 8:32 to 8:51, the device was at a MAPCO at East Brooks Road and East Rosetta Circle at MAPCO right there.
How long was the phone at the MAPCO?
It showed just under 20 minutes, 19 minutes.
Where did Brandon Isabel's phone go from MAPCO at Brooks Road?
Oh, we see it starts here at the green triangle from the MAPCO, down Nancana, and then it comes down, I think that is Lakeview. And then from the slideshow that I could do with the mapping, the device actually passes, and then it drives up and down Neely, and then comes back right there on Sedgwick.
So that's there, Levi and Sedgwick, right near where you have the red pen for the homicide scene?
Yes, sir.
And there's a darker cluster on Levi right before Sedgwick, correct?
Yes.
Is that the cluster we're looking at now?
That is that darker cluster of dots right there.
What time is Brandon Isabel's phone on East Levi Road, just there next to Sedgwick, on the night of February 1st of 2022?
The device showed the locations was there from 9:02 p.m. to 9:17 p.m.
In this particular photograph, do you have a certain point flag?
So this was the time, and I thought it would show up a little bit better here, so my apologies. But that is the location hit for the 9:02 p.m.
So it shows him being there from 9:02, and that's the point for 9:02. What about the point
Well, he got 3 women to trust him, unfortunately.
for 9:17?
And this is the location for the 9:17 hit, right there. That little, you can't really see it, that blue circle I have highlighted yellow, it's not showing up on the presentation very well, but at 9:17, that's where it was.
And that cluster of circles we see, time-wise, they fall there between the 9:02 and the 9:17.
Yes, sir.
So Brandon Isabel's cell phone is there on East Levi Road, just north and west of Sedgwick Street,
Yes.
from 9:02 p.m. to 9:17 p.m. on February 1st of 2022.
Yes, sir.
When does Mr. Isabel's phone leave the area
by-
of the homicide scene?
By 9:23, the device is leaving the area of Sedgwick and East Levi, and that's the location hit right there with the call out. But there's the cluster of dots we were looking at, and then that's the next hit at 9:23.
So at 9:23, his phone's going back up Lakeview Road, heading kind of northeast,
Yes, sir.
away from the scene of the homicide.
Yes, sir.
The scene where Danielle Hoyle was found shot to death, correct?
That is correct.
Where does his phone go to next?
So we start down here at the green triangle, and it heads back up onto 240, back out to Interstate 40, out to the Germantown and State Road area. And we have a cluster of dots right here in this parking lot from 9:44, that device is in the area of the market at Wolf Chase, from 9:44 to 10:04 p.m. on the 1st.
So from 9:44 p.m. to 10:04 p.m., he's in that little shopping center. Is that Wolf Creek Parkway?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct? And then it's right there. Is that the yellow road that's Highway 64? Is that State Road?
That is,
And then North Germantown Parkway is going north-south to the right of it?
yes,
So right there in that area of town.
right there, yes.
What, specifically kind of where those dots are clustered, what shops are kind of in that area as a point of reference?
Back over here to the left, you've got a Target, and then there's the fondue restaurant, and then the 511 store is there, and then the Best Buy is down here.
Does he move again, or go on the move again at 9:04 p.m.?
At 10:04, yes.
Excuse me, at 10:04 p.m.
Yes.
Where does he head to?
So at this time, the device starts there, that parking lot on the Stage Road, and then goes up to the Walmart Supercenter again on the Highway 64.
So that's the Stage Road Walmart?
It is, yes.
What time is he at the Walmart on Stage Road?
From 10:05 p.m. To 10:21 p.m., that device is in the parking lot and the Walmart there on Highway 64.
So what time does he leave from the Walmart on Stage Road, Highway 64?
That call-out box right there, that's the 1021 location. So it's actually left the parking lot and is back on Highway 64 at 1021.
Where does he go from the Walmart?
So it starts here at the Walmart, down 64 to Rock Creek Parkway, back to the address off Rock Creek Parkway.
8702 Blackberry Place North? The
8702?
Blackberry?
Yes,
The Isabelle's residence?
yes.
What time do we first see the phone arriving back at the Isabelle's residence?
So the device showed the location time at 10:24, being back at the address, and then leaves at 10:30, and that's the location recorded when it left at 10:30. So from 10:24 to 10:30.
So it was in the vicinity of his home until 10:30, when it's you're heading south on Rock Creek.
Yes, sir.
Where does this phone go to next?
But when the device leaves the Rock Creek Parkway onto Germantown, it gets onto 40, and this time it takes the north loop of 40 around, then comes Midtown 240, and then downtown. And it drives kind of up and down Island Drive on Mud Island before it ends right there at the end of Island Drive on Mud Island.
Is that near the boat ramp
It is, yes.
on the north end of Mud Island?
Yes.
What time does his phone put him on him on Mud Island?
So at 10:59, that device is showing on Island Drive on Mud Island.
Right over there by Harbor Town?
Yes, just right there.
Now, the dots here, right, they go up and down, and there's a couple in the river there. Can you kind of explain what we're looking at here?
Yes, so between 11 and 11:20, the device is actually driving up and down Island Drive, back and forth, and you can see that just the cluster of dots where it's overlaying, and then the dots that are hidden in the river, that's when the device is just not getting as many satellite signals as what we were seeing there on Island Drive.
But the majority of that clustering is following Island Drive, and then the road, is that North Mud Island Drive that goes kind of northeast away from the top of Mud Island?
This road here at the top, that is North Mud Island Drive, yes.
And is there a particularly darker cluster of blue dots
You can
in the corner
you can
of,
see it's dark cluster right there.
okay, is that there at the corner of where Island Drive turns into North Mud Island Road?
It is, yes,
Is that over there by the boat ramp?
it is. And I zoomed in on that cluster, which you would see right in here. And then there was a location hit at 11:20, just outside of the laneway, right there. A device location hit at 11:20.
So specifically at 11:20, that is where Brandon Isabelle's phone GPS is saying that it is.
Yes, sir.
Now, this next slide, is this basically kind of what we were just looking at, but with a Google Earth image?
It's exactly the same image. I just chose to change the overlay so I could kind of see better where that device was instead of just randomly on some pale colored location.
And to be clear, this isn't a photograph from February 1st of 2022, right?
That is not.
This is a Google Earth image from Google Earth that you're using for demonstrative purposes, correct?
Correct, yes.
So that's not what the water level looks like or the shoreline on
No,
that
sir,
day?
not at all.
So looking at this point, what is it next to in this photograph where the actual highlighted location is?
What is it next to?
Yes, can you please describe for the jury what is next to this highlighted point?
So you've got a gate blocking the drive here, and then the pedestrian walkway, and then this is the boat ramp and the boat ramp parking area here. And I have the pin dropped for boat ramp right there. I added that into the software.
Could you please point out where the Wolf River is in this photograph?
The Wolf River is here, where it enters the Mississippi River right there.
So is that the Mississippi running on the right side up and down? Excuse me,
Mississippi
left
River.
side up and down?
And then Wolf River there.
And what was that time again for the point that is highlighted there?
11:20 p.m. on
Feb-
2/1.
On February 1st,
February
2022? What time does Brandon Isabel's phone leave Mud Island?
At 11:27 p.m., the device is crossing the A.W. Willis Bridge, leaving Mud Island. 11:27.
Where does he go from there?
So I have the green start there near the boat ramp. It brings 240 south to 240 again and down, that's Neely, over to an address off of, we have to zoom, we have to move to the next slide. We go, yes. It rains in US Highway 51, the device winds up at a Walgreens at 11:51 p.m. So it went from downtown Memphis to this Walgreens off Rains.
In US I-51, is that Elvis Presley Boulevard?
Yes, yes, that is.
So this is that Walgreens there at Elvis Presley Boulevard and East Range Road.
Yes, the mapping software shows it as US Highway 51, and then East Range right there, and the Walgreens right there in the corner.
So-
Elvis Presley and Rains.
What time is his phone first showing up near the Walgreens?
It's 11:51 p.m. was the first location hit, and the last location hit was 12:11 a.m. on the second.
And the 12:11 a.m. hit, is that the highlighted one with the box you have down at the bottom?
Yes, that is.
So where does Mr. Isabel's phone go next?
So we leave the Walgreens at Elvis Presley and Rains, and it comes down here to an address here. It's the Walmart Supercenter at Elvis Presley and Holmes Road. That's the stop, and if we could advance one slide.
So he just went south on Elvis Presley Boulevard down to the Walmart.
Yes, sir. And the device there pulls off Elvis Presley and is, so the Walmart is that box there, so it's behind the Walmart right there.
So this Walmart, the front of the store, does it face Elvis Presley Boulevard?
It does, yes.
The back of the store, is that where the cluster of dots are?
Yes.
How long, well, when does it first arrive there at the Walmart?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to the classification of it arriving. We can have a first data point, but that doesn't indicate when the device arrived.
I'll rephrase the question.
Thank you.
At what time is the first?
Sustained.
My apologies, sir.
Go ahead.
At what time does the first data point for Mr. Brandon Isabel's phone appear at Walmart?
12:15 a.m. on the second.
What about the last data point?
It was there until 12:17 a.m. It was there for 2 minutes.
Where does it go to next?
So we have the device leaving the Walmart and then down Holmes Road and then to an address here on Stacy Road, which is that cluster of dots there.
At what time does the first data point appear at Stacy Road?
So at 12:21, the device is showing there an address off Stacy, and it leaves that address around 12:33 a.m. on the 2nd.
So it appears the device is there at an address on Stacy Road from about 12:21 to 12:33 in the morning of the 2nd.
Yes, sir.
Where does the device go to after that?
So again, the green triangle is the start location from the Stacy Road address, and then it takes 240 back up, eastbound 40, back to the home address for Brandon and Isabelle, the 8702 Ladberry
Is that Latberry?
Place in Cordova.
What time does the first data point appear at the Latberry address?
So 1:07 a.m. is the first location hit in that data cluster right there.
And then does it go anywhere else for the time frame that you were searching?
It does not. After 1:07, once it's there at that address, it does not leave.
So it's arrived back home.
Yes, the device is back home.
Now, as we were just going through all of these, and I'm going to go back one slide, these dots pretty much trace road directions almost exactly.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
correct? So the GPS data on the phone, where the phone is searching it for its location to talk with the towers, that shows the accuracy of that GPS location as far as, let me rephrase the question. It follows the data as it moves down the road, follows the road very, very closely, doesn't it?
Yes.
And it's,
Objection deleting.
Your response,
I'll rephrase the question, Your Honor.
sustained.
How closely, if at all, does the data follow roadways?
So the accuracy was not reported out. Usually when we get cell tower information, we get accuracy in hundreds of meters. But with GPS accuracy, usually it's 9 meters, 9 to 50 meters. So it's a lot more accurate than what cell phone companies represent, which is why we went with the device locations.
Now, this slide here, what is it talking about?
So this was just a summary of what we just looked at. I mapped out the location information from that iPhone 11 Pro Max that was belonging to Brandon and Isabelle, and I uploaded those locations to a web-based tool, CellHawk, to map those out so we could see them on a map instead of just looking at a bunch of numbers in a spreadsheet. Total, there were 6,622 location markers pulled out of that device for that requested time frame. And Sergeant Bledsoe used Cellrite Physical Analyzer version 7.63.0.126 to generate his UFDR report that I used to pull the location information from. And I used CellHawk version 8.4.23 to map it out so we can look at it.
So now, moving forward to the other work you did looking at the phones, at some point did you look at the actual other data, such as text messages, call logs, web data, stuff of that nature?
Yes.
Specifically, what did you look at?
So I was asked to look at the communication between Brandon and Isabelle and our team Artesia Stewart, who was listed as wifey in Brandon Isabel's phone. I was asked to look at the communication between Brandon Isabel and Danielle Hoyle. And there was a FaceTime call to Danielle Hoyle that I was asked to look at. And then the Artesia Stewart device locations on February 1st from, I think, 9:30 to 11 p.m. And then the web history from Brandon Isabel's device.
Let's talk about, how did you start when you were looking at Brandon Isabel's phone, specifically for communication with Artesia Stewart?
So the Celebrate Reader Report makes it very easy for what we call jumping points. And one of the jumping points is messages or calls, or it's a little box that you can click that will take you to that information to start looking at it. So it's very, very simple.
So here, did you filter down to communications involving a certain individual?
Yes. So from what was requested, we were looking at the communication between Brandon Isabel and Artesia Stewart. And this is a screenshot from the UFED report that Sergeant Bledsoe created that I had. And then this is the same screenshot from the UFED report that I created for Artesia's phone. And you can see that the Apple ID used on Brandon Isabel's device, and then the phone number last used, the MSISDN is the phone number. And then, of course, Artesia Stewart's Gmail and the phone number there.
What was Mr. Brandon Isabel's phone number?
It's 901-340-4649.
And Ms. Artesia Stewart's phone number?
There was 901-896-5848. 896-5848.
Do that.
And you're actually able to get this information from the phone itself.
Yes.
It knows the phone number that's assigned to it.
I'm
Yes.
still here, y'all. I'm just bored. I hate
What are we looking at
Celebrate data.
This is just the contact information. On the left here, we've got Brandon Isabel's contact information for Artesia Stewart. There's the contact picture that he would see in his device, and then the name, and then there's the phone number for that contact. And then on the right side, we have all the contacts for that phone number that she had listed for Brandon. She had 34 different contact names for Brandon in her phone.
So the left
34
side,
different
that's
names
Brandon's
for
phone.
him?
That is from Brandon's here,
Okay.
and this one's from Artesia.
So what was the contact name for Artesia and Brandon's phone?
The contact name was Wifey
Wifey?
for Artesia in his phone.
Is that followed by a few different emojis?
Yes,
And then in Artesia's phone, you mentioned there were numerous different contact names that have been used at some point in time for Brandon Isabel, correct?
that is correct.
What were some examples?
This top one, you can't really see. It's kind of blurry, but that says My Love. Then you got City Boy Brandon. She's got Brandon right there. And then she just has his phone number listed there.
Did any of those include the name Puddin?
The pudding is right there. Yes.
Did you look at whether there were any calls between Brandon Isabel and Artesia Stewart, who in his phone appears as wifey, on the dates
Oh,
of February
wifey.
1st of 2022 and February 2nd of 2022?
I did. And I looked at that from
I thought he said wipey, like wipey. It's wifey. Okay, that makes more sense.
Artesia's contact information from Brandon Isabel's device. And we had 5 incoming calls, and you can see them listed as from. It's not listed, I'm sorry. It's an icon. So there's 3 outgoing, 2, and then the from is the blue icons, and the outgoing is the green icon, the arrow pointing in or the arrow pointing out.
So blue arrows pointing in towards the phone, incoming.
Incoming, yes.
Green arrows pointing out from the phone, outgoing.
Outgoing, yes.
Now, looking at this, that's the same phone number in along the column, correct? Where it might change to, from,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Is it the same name that it keeps appearing to the right of the phone number?
The name changes from Wifey to Tiffany Purcell.
What does that mean when the name changes?
That the owner changed the contact name.
So at some point in time, and is that reflected chronologically in a call log?
Yes,
So, for example, if the phone contact was labeled Tiffany Purcell up until sometime before 10:19 and 34 seconds a.m. and 10:09 56 seconds a.m., there was a change at some point in time?
yes. So the calls, the phone looks at the contact database. It doesn't remember it. So every call you make, it looks back at the contact database and pulls that information from it. So if you make the change in your contact database, change the name or add an emoji and add an icon, change the picture, the phone always reaches back to the contact database to pull that so you have the most up-to-date information that you see.
And so this is looking at Brandon Isabel's phone, correct?
Correct.
What about Artesia Stewart's device?
So I did the same evaluation from Artesia's phone, and there's 3 incoming calls from, and then 6 outgoing calls to.
Now, do you have an arrow pointing to a specific call at 10:19:07 a.m. on February 1st, 2022, correct?
Yes,
What's the significance of that arrow?
that call is not in Brandon Isabel's phone. We only saw the number of calls from his, 5 incoming to 3 outgoing, and now we're looking at 3 incoming to 6 outgoing. So that call was missing from Brandon's phone.
And what does Artesia Stewart have Brandon's contact name in her phone as during this time window?
It's pulling Isabelle, Brandon.
Did you also look at actually, let me go back, put a pin in that for 1 second. When you looked at call logs, did you also look at a complete call log involving all incoming, outgoing phone calls from Brandon Isabel's phone from the time from February 1st, 2022 at 7:16:35 a.m. to February 2nd, 2022 until 4:32:13 a.m.?
Correct. Yes, I did.
May I pass an object witness?
An object, your
Documents, Your Honor.
thing.
Special Agent Garner, do you recognize that document?
Yes.
What is it?
This is another report generated from the UFDR report, just from the call logs from that.
And so that shows all the calls in the log on Brandon Isabel's device during that time window.
Yes.
Here, this time I ask that the call log be entered into evidence as States Exhibit 117. Did you also look at text messages between Brandon Isabelle and Artesia Stewart?
Yes, I did.
Here, your slide notes from February 1st, February 2nd, 2022. Did you also look at text messages from the window of January 30th, 2022 through February 2nd of 2022.
Yes, sir.
You are requesting permission to pass document to the witness. Special Agent Garner, do you recognize that document that's been passed to you?
Yes. This is a kind of a specialized report, and I say that all it is was between two persons from the entire phone, from between Brandon Isabelle and Artisha Stewart. It's just a report of their conversations on the phone.
Your Honor, this time today has to be marked as exhibit number 118.
You're gonna wait, right?
Sure. Anybody need a break? I'm gonna let them break, because we don't know how long this is gonna take, am I right?
You just can't believe your number.
All right, it is 3:09, can I see you back? 3:20? Thank you. No discussions, no talking? Special Agent Ryan, you are free to step down. Do not discuss your testimony. Move on.
Yes, ma'am.
You are still up. Oh,
I'll stay there.
thank you. You still want to approach, or since they're out?
Since they're out, we can do it from here. Your Honor, I would just
Wait,
object to the
wait.
admission.
Wait. Yeah, I think we'll have one.
Yeah. Let me steal a little bit of that, though. So, sound like there's something in
I
it.
have to hear the door before I let you. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I would object to the admission of every text message. Not all of these are relevant. They're not even all from the relevant time frame. I would just ask, unless there can be an offer of proof to show the relevance of all of these text messages, that number one, they're hearsay. Ms. Stewart was not confronted with every single one of those to lay the basis for her to identify them and say that they were hers. But also, not all of these are relevant.
Your response?
Your Honor, the state would say that, submit that they are relevant from the date window of January 30th of 2021, which is the day before the birth of Kennedy Hoyle. There's been testimony about, I'm sorry, it's 2022, I said 2021, excuse me, January 30th of 2022. There's been testimony about the relationship between Artisha and the defendant, Brandon Isabelle, and specifically about the time, the days leading up before the birth of Kennedy and the status of their relationship. Defense counsel introduced copies of text messages between Artisha and the defendant on her cross that are approximately around that time period, even before. They go back to Christmas before that. The state is asking to put in text messages from the day before the birth of Kennedy Hoyle to which would be the January 30th of 2022 until February 2nd of 2022, which is the culmination of this investigation as far as the defendant's statement and things of that nature. They are absolutely relevant, Your Honor, and they're confined specifically to, the state would submit that they're absolutely relevant, Your Honor, the state, and we confine them to the specific dates, which is a smaller area of time than what the defense has already submitted into evidence. The state would also argue that the rule of completeness kind of applies a little bit in that one of the text messages that has been entered as exhibit, is that one right there? Exhibit 82 by the defense is from January 31st of 2022 at 3:48:06 a.m. But furthermore, Your Honor, besides from the issues of relevance and the rule of completeness, the state would also note that they are properly authenticated. They've been introduced by an expert witness who is an expert in digital forensics. He has testified about how these were extracted and found using Celebrite and Gray Key, something that he is qualified and certified in. And specifically, the state would point to State of Tennessee versus Wells, which is a 2024 Court of Criminal Appeals decision. It is docket number E2003-00516-CCA-R3-CD, specifically looking to page, please give me here in 1 second. Authentication is on page 20 of that opinion, and it runs through page 24, where it talks specifically about in a case that was a domestic violence homicide where involving a deceased girlfriend and another girlfriend who was also involved in the situation as a third party. Text messages were entered into evidence from both of them, the deceased girlfriend, who was the victim, as well as the other girlfriend. And the text messages were authenticated by a Celebrite certified individual, such as Special Agent Gardner is here. And the Court of Appeals found that that was appropriate and cited two numerous opinions from here in Tennessee that shows that that authentication is sufficient. That's a sufficient authentication under the law in the state of Tennessee. Now, specifically as to any type of hearsay, the state of Tennessee is seeking to introduce this for non-hearsay purposes. It's to fill a contextual void. The state would also cite to State of Tennessee versus Wells, that same citation given earlier, specifically to beginning at page number 24 and going through page number 35. Here, Your Honor, the text messages from the respondent to the defense. So the text messages from the defendant himself are statements against interest or statements by the defendant. The responses by the other party are there to fill a contextual void. Without them, a one-sided conversation does not make any sense. They're being submitted for a non-hearsay purpose, not to show that whatever that individual said, in this case, either Artesia Stewart or Danielle Hoyle said was, in fact, the truth of the matter asserted, but to give context to what the defendant says each time. Now, as to the confrontation clause, Your Honor, with regard to Ms. Stewart was questioned on cross-examination about text messages, in that the defendant introduced text messages and asked her about specific ones. But here, they're not coming in for hearsay, they're coming in for the proof of the matter asserted. They're there to provide to fill a contextual void as to the defendant's statements themselves. And without them, they would not make any sense. The Court of Criminal Appeals in State versus Wells found that in that instance, the statements made by the two different girlfriends and the text message they had with the defendant, the trial court properly allowed them in as filling a contextual void for non-hearsay purposes. The court instructed the jury that they were to only look at the responses from the person speaking with the defendant in the text message exchange as there to give context to the defendant's statements, not for this truth of the matter asserted in the victim's statements or in the Artesia's or Danielle's statements themselves, but to give context. The Court of Appeals found that the court did not err in allowing the text messages in, and that it was first properly authenticated, but then also it was correctly introduced. It was not an error. The state of Tennessee would ask that this court follow the decision in State versus Wells and allow the introduction of both sets of text messages.
And I would just submit that a significant difference between the text messages that we entered with Ms. Stewart on the stand and these text messages now are that Ms. Stewart was on the stand to read it and say, yes, I sent that message. Yes, I received that message. Whereas with all of these, we don't have a person to do that. And with all of these, we don't have, number one, we don't have a finding that every one of these is relevant to anything. whether that be context or otherwise, most certainly not an issue before the jury. We don't have any authentication from a person.
Judy, Miss Wigglehands is doing cross. Are you ready? Wiggles. Lady, calm down.
Who was a party to say, yes, I sent that or I received that. We don't have the ability to cross-examine about every single one of these text messages. The sheer volume is, in and of itself, probably going to be confusing for the jury in trying to get back there if they're supposed to look through every single exhibit. You know, being able to siphon through 355 pages of text messages that do not have anything to do with what happened out at Levi and Sedgwick or on Mud Island. Your Honor, I would just submit that these have questionable relevance. They are hearsay. They have not been properly authenticated by a person sending or receiving them, and that they are in violation of the Confrontation Clause.
You know, the state would just briefly note that as far as authentication goes, they have been pulled from a device that belongs to the defendant by a person who is qualified in using Cellbrite and Gray Key. The court heard earlier testimony about his credentials. State versus Wells, as well as other cases, note that that is sufficient authentication. Other cases include State versus Robert L. Cody, Criminal Court of Appeals, December 28, 2026, where the citation notes that police officer testified about his training and certification in using Cellbrite technology, his extraction of data from a cell phone, in the present case, and his identification of the extraction reports. And that's a note where the court, it's a citation to the point the court had made that this court has held that Cellbrite data was properly authenticated in cases which involve similar foundational testimony as that received in the present case. It goes on to cite other numerous cases in this opinion, Your Honor, that it's the uniqueness of the extraction from a phone that creates, that allows for authentication here, Your Honor. It's showing that these were communications between two devices, between the defendant's device and between Archisa Stewart's device, and vice versa. Your Honor, as to, that is sufficient authentication, State would submit that is sufficient authentication under Tennessee law. As to the issues of hearsay, it does go to show motive, state of mind, intent. It shows the defendant's state of mind at the time surrounding the homicide. It adds context to what he was doing, potentially gives jury context as to what his state of mind may have been. The state would also further note that prior to this trial, and these were provided in discovery a while back, but prior to this trial, this was given to defense as a potential exhibit. So that way defense could have a chance to take a look at it, and we could talk about any objections that were had.
That was going to be my next question, because you bring up the volume of the text. You received these well before trial, because this is not Mr. Isabelle's first setting, correct?
I received this set on Friday.
The state would note this set comes from a phone extraction that you received over a year ago, and that they have an expert specifically hired to review cases as well. The state highlighted specific date ranges.
Second, you're not offering this for the purposes of a hearsay issue. You're offering this not to prove the truth of the matter asserted, correct?
Your Honor.
You've had these documents, and now he's trying to enter them. May I see? The relevant time period is January 31st, which I believe the testimony has shown that there was some sort of interaction between Ms. Stewart and Mr. Isabelle at a local park. That was the beginning of the life of Kennedy, January 31st, 2022. And you're asking to enter from January 31st, 2022 to February 2nd, 2022, at what time?
I think the text messages end at 4 a.m., 2 a.m., I don't recall off the top of my head.
Not my business. Take that back.
But I think it does start on the 30th, not the 31st, just for the, on the record. It's,
So, what causes me pause is what's contained in these, because there was a state of mind issue, and there was and I believe Mr. Massey on Cross was speaking to Ms. Stewart about the nature of the relationship, the fact that they wanted to be married, what was happening in that date and that time surrounding this incident, even after she left the second Dixie Queen and showed up at her house, and how anxious he was when he jumped in the car. He talked about, Mr. Massey specifically brought up, was it Exhibit 82? Yeah. Exhibit 82 was the text, and Mr. Massey showed the first green portion, and in the state of Tennessee on redirect brought up the blue portion that said just, there was a, did she say just take care of your kids, Brandon?
yes, Your Honor.
Right. See, I was paying attention. What I think, and what I took from Mr. Massey's cross of Miss Stewart, was his attempt successfully to show that this was a loving, meaningful relationship to all involved, whether it be cookie wifey or putting my husband as listed. I'm allowing these text messages in. I think they are properly authenticated by someone that we've already qualified as an expert, given his AA, BA, and the master's, and your 5 weeks of training, not to mention your NCFI history, correct? I'll allow it. Recess.
What stands for recess?
Thank you, Your Honor.
How long are they going to be in recess? What are we going to talk about for however long they're going to be in recess? I'm sleepy, y'all. I guess I should be paying attention to these text messages. That's more fun than the location data part of Celebrate. It's a good thing I don't ever have to serve on a jury ever again. Because I've watched so many trials and sat through so much Celebrate data now that as soon as I hear the word digital forensics, my brain just shuts down. I just can't listen to anymore. It's just so boring to me now. But these text messages might be, although I've missed them, because I haven't been paying attention. You guys were chatty Cathy's this morning. I couldn't keep up with the chat. It was going so fast. No, nobody has anything to say? Nothing? Well, thank you for being here anyway. When you're a child, you want to be a teenager. When you're a teenager, you want to be an adult. When you're an adult, you want to be a cat. Ain't that the truth? Where is my cat? Shadow! Shadow! That's alright, Carla. Lurk away. I appreciate my lurkers too. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm just blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Dang it. Judy's scoping trials for me to do. And we thought we found one, but it's not going to be live streamed. I actually might need a break after these two. Baby killers. Jeez. You know, maybe I shouldn't say anything. Yeah, it's a break. We're on a short break. That's probably gonna be in a long break. I was gonna I don't know when to shut up. I'm gonna say it. Women get abortions all the time, but a man's getting the death penalty because he killed a pregnant woman. I said it. Oh, I meant to Google that. Hang on. Is Tennessee asking for the death penalty in the Brandon Isabelle case? I know I can watch it on court, TV, and law and crime. I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you something else. Answer my question. Is Tennessee seeking the death penalty in the Brandon Isabelle case?
I'm sorry, but I couldn't find any information on whether Tennessee is seeking the death penalty in the Brandon Isabelle case. To determine if the death penalty is being sought, typically the state would need to file a notice of intent to seek the death penalty, specifying the aggravating circumstances they intend to rely on at the sentence hearing. Without more specific details on this case, it's difficult to provide a definitive answer.
Well, you're no help. You're supposed to know things. You're AI. I don't, because I mean, Judy says no, I'm not calling her a liar. I'm just saying Court TV had a poll up. It could have been a hypothetical, but Court TV had a poll up, but it could have been a hypothetical, but I would like to know for sure. And the judge did say there would be a penalty phase, but Tennessee does things different than Florida. Tennessee does sentencing right after, and the jury decides. So that could be just the penalty phase, you know, like I think they decide parole or not parole. I think that's what Tennessee does. Because I remember, did you watch Carly Gregg with R.A., Judy? Because I remember being shocked. Because I had never seen a jury do that before. Because the jury decided whether or not she got life with parole or life without parole. And I remember thinking, oh my God, a jury does that? And they, which I didn't agree with, they sent this little 15-year-old girl to prison without the possibility of parole. I mean, yeah, it was awful, awful, awful what she did. But she's only 15. 15. Her brain's not even fully developed yet. She did something completely horrific. But she had a THC vape and a boyfriend she didn't want her mom to know about. And yeah, that's happened to probably every teenager, and they didn't kill their parents, but her brain's not done. I'm not saying she shouldn't be punished. Not at all. But I think she should have gotten the possibility of parole in 25 years or 30 years. She would have been a grown woman, but she would have been able to have a life late years in the future after being punished for what she did. But she got life without parole. And that might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't like the idea of sending a kid to prison for the rest of their life. And you know, they keep moving the goalpost at when your brain quits maturing. It used to be like 21, and then it was 25. Now I think it's like 27. Like, everybody thinks that science is like science. Hard and fast, and that's the bottom line, and it's not. Science, it keeps changing. Now, there's some science that never changes. It's like, it's rock solid, always going to be that way. But then there's other studies and stuff. Stuff changes all the time. And when you're a teenager, stuff like that, especially boyfriend stuff or girlfriend stuff, your brain thinks that you are so in love and you're never going to find anybody else to love. And at all costs, you have to be with this person. And I've been there. I didn't want to unalive my parents, though. I was gonna myself. Was there a line at the bathroom or what? Apparently. I think Court TV's just optimistic when they put short. Ow, my knee. Ow, ow, ow. Hey, baby. What you doing? Hi, pretty girl. What you doing? Why are you looking at me like that? You want to come say hi? You want to come say hi? No? You get my lap? Come on. Come here. Come here. No. Bye. I don't think Belle. I think she doesn't act like she's in pain until I go to, like, pick her up or hold her or anything. She used to like for me to hold her and cuddle with her, and she doesn't anymore. The only time, like, she doesn't act like it hurts, but every once in a while when she puts her foot, she'll hold her foot kind of funny, like it's touching the ground, but it's not touching the ground like she normally does, and then, like, her leg will shake just a little bit, and then she'll put her foot down normal and she'll be fine. And it's her front right, but it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it. She doesn't do it all the time. Like, as soon as she puts her foot down flat, normally, again, it stops. And she doesn't yelp or anything. She just, like, if I start to, like, go too close to her and put my arm around her, like, she'll be sitting next to me on the bed, and then I'll, like, go to, like, cuddle up with her. She'll get up and move farther away. So, I don't know what's going on. I want my little puppy back. I see my first. I think she's the first dog I've ever had. She is the first dog I've had from puppy to adult to old. That was all mine. My dog. They didn't belong to anybody else. And when Travis brought her to me, he said, hold out your hands and close your eyes. And I did this. And he goes, no, open them. And I opened them, and she was in the palm of my hands. That's how small she was. I'm gonna miss her. I hope she lives another couple years, but my baby. She's not well. Why do I just keep thinking about depressing things today? Debbie, snap out of it. Jeez. I know why. I know why. My new Bible study is why. Oh, there you are, Shadow. How did your bird go off? Me touching the table made the bird go off all the way over there? You gonna turn the sound back on? My new Bible study. Tame your thoughts. This is why I got this Bible study. So I quit thinking like this. I started it this morning. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one whose dog does that. I'm starting to get a complex. Like, but I love you. Come here. Are y'all gonna turn the sound back on or what? I swear it's on, y'all. I didn't do it this time. It's on. It was not me. I'm caught up to live.
3 question marks.
No, I wasn't caught up to live.
Correct.
How does it do that every time?
Yes.
I didn't touch a thing this time, and it wasn't caught up with live.
Garner. Before the break, we were talking about the text messages between Brandon Isabelle and Artisha Stewart.
Yes.
This next slide is this. What are we looking at here?
This just shows that the conversation participants being wifey, very difficult to see right there, but wifey and Brandon Isabelle.
Is it kind of an example of how the text conversation looks out when they're printed out or on the screen and Celebrate?
This is exactly what we see when we're looking at Celebrate in what's called the conversation view. So you can see one party on the left, which is wifey, and then the second party on the right, which is the Brandon Isabelle.
So here, the bubbles are 2 different colors, right? Blue and green.
Yes.
On the printed copies that you were just looking at, are they also that blue and green?
Yes.
When looking at these conversations,
Oh, it's that
who's blue
weird.
and who's green?
In this one, Artisha Stewart is blue, and Brandon Isabelle is in green.
So these are messages from Brandon Isabel's phone to Artesia Stewart's phone, correct?
Wait,
Yes,
the
that's correct.
blue one you can
So
read.
his are green on the right-hand side, hers are blue on the left-hand side.
Yes.
You can read that, handle your business, but you can't
Now,
read.
going back to the call log, did you notice any phone calls with Danielle Hoyle in Brandon Stewart's call log?
I did not.
Did you notice any type of audio or video communications?
There was a FaceTime call to Danielle.
When was that FaceTime call?
That FaceTime call was at February 1st, 2022 at 10:02 and 57 seconds in the evening.
So going back and looking at the call log, is that the only voice or video communication via phone or FaceTime that appears from February 1st to February 2nd of 2022 between him and Danielle?
Yes, it is.
And the time of this FaceTime call was at 10:02 and 57 seconds PM on the 1st?
Yes, sir.
Where was Brandon Isabel's phone at that time?
Looking at the significant locations, you've got 10:02 and 52 seconds and 10:02 and 59 seconds. Those are the two that I have highlighted, which puts those location points on this map. So that device was sitting in the parking lot there at Wolf Creek Lane and Wolf Creek Parkway.
So this is after his phone has left Levi and Sedgwick.
That's correct.
In the evening, the second time it
Yes.
went to that area of town on the
Yes, sir.
first. After this, does his phone then go to Walmart?
The device leaves that location and goes to Walmart, correct?
Then after that, it goes to his house?
That's correct.
Then after that, it goes to Mud Isle?
Yes.
Did you also look at message communications between Brandon, Isabelle, and Danielle Hoyle?
I did, yes.
What type of message communications were there on his phone between him and Danielle?
There were Facebook messages and what's called native messaging, so it's iPhone to iPhone, via the iMessage.
Is that what we colloquially would call text messages?
Yes,
But in this case, probably iMessages.
yes, that's correct.
Your Honor, requesting permission to pass a document to witness.
Go ahead, please.
Special Agent Michael Garner, you've been passed a document. Do you recognize that document?
Yes.
What is it?
So this is another specialized report from the Cell Right Reader report, and it just contains the conversations from the Facebook Messenger and the native messaging that we just spoke about. So,
Now, the Facebook, let me back up. This time, our state has to be marked as exhibit number 119.
Hearing no objection.
No objection.
Thank you.
And if you could pass that back to the witness, please. Now, same thing as we were talking about before with the color of the different text bubbles. Blue on the left, it's going to be Danielle, the person receiving the text from the defendant and sending text to the defendant. And green on the right, that's going to be Brandon Isabel's phone.
correct, yes.
Okay. One second. Now, looking at the Facebook Messenger messages, which I think is the first page of Exhibit 119. When do the Facebook Messenger messages begin?
You can see the date and timestamp on that message. It's 2/1/2022, 11:39 and 53 seconds PM.
So this is at February 1st, 2022 at 11:39 PM and 53 seconds, Memphis time.
Yes, sir.
Were there messages available on Facebook Messenger between Brandon Isabelle and Danielle on his phone before that message?
No.
And Special Agent Garner, would you please, we'll read these messages, if you will read the defendant's portion, and I will read Danielle's portion.
Okay. Yeah,
We'll start there at the first one.
So it says, N-word, I got ways to text you. Either stop playing or wake up and text me back. Show me Kennedy, and I'm going to get her tomorrow night if that's cool with you, since I'm off Thursday.
When was the next message sent?
The next message is the next day, 2/2/2022, and see it right there at 12:02 and 21 seconds AM, so midnight, a little after midnight. And that message, well, good night, dude. Give her a kiss from me. Just miss her. And that's it. Love y'all.
Now, thinking back to the maps and location data, on February 2nd, 2022, at 12:02 and 21 seconds, Brandon Isabelle's phone was at the Walgreens at Raines and Elvis Presley Boulevard, correct?
That's correct.
That's after leaving the area of Levi and Sedgwick, correct?
Yes.
Going to the area near the shopping center across from the Walmart, correct?
That's right.
Then to Walmart,
Into Walmart.
back to his home, correct?
Yes.
To Mud Island,
Yes.
and then to Walgreens, correct?
That's correct.
Now, this next message is from Danielle's Facebook page, correct? Or Messenger profile.
Yes.
And that's at February 2nd, 2022 at 12:12 and 50 seconds, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And that says, we looking for Danielle and the baby, correct?
Yes. And at 12:13 and 20 seconds AM, he replied, huh? What? Who is this? Then 12:13, 55 seconds, 3 question marks, and 12:14:07. Can y'all stop playing?
And then at 12:15, 56 seconds on the second, from Danielle's account, it states, this her brother, call my phone, 338-2899, correct?
That's right.
What does Mr. Isabelle say in response?
Finna send my address. I'm about to head home. And then he sent, and that was at 12:32 AM on 2/2. And then at 12:38 and 46 seconds, he sent 8702 Lathbury Place North.
And that's the end of the Facebook Messenger messages that were available on the defendant's phone, correct?
That is correct.
There were also native or text messages available on the phone too,
Yes.
correct, between him and Danielle? Direct your attention to February 1st in the morning. Try and- So going to page 28, the second blue bubble beginning at February 1st at 8:10 a.m. and 30 seconds. Danielle texted Brandon Isabelle, correct?
That's correct.
And she stated, she peed on the nurse, glad it was them and not me. What did Mr. Isabelle say in response?
At 8:20 and 56 seconds, on that same day, he replied, tough.
And at 8:22:36, Danielle says, IKR. I know, right? You okay?
At 8:23, he replied, yeah.
At 8:23:53 seconds, Danielle said, okay, ... Happy birthday again, little dude.
And at 8:26 and 11 seconds, he replied, thank you.
At 8:29 and 27 seconds, Danielle, I love you, thank you for being here, Brandon.
And at 8:30, 5 seconds, he said, no problem. And then 8:30 and 20 seconds, he said, thanks for being understanding.
At 8:31:34, Danielle texted, you okay?
And at 10:27 a.m., he said, how's she doing?
At 10:29:53 seconds, Danielle said, she's been asleep, still, I'm gonna wake her up in a few.
And at 10:30 and 5 seconds, he said, oh, okay.
At 10:30, 24 seconds, she said, how's Kingston?
And at 10:30 and 38 seconds, he said, he good, in recovery right now.
At 10:31 and 8 seconds, okay, long as he's good. At 10:53:54 seconds, Danielle texted, she's waking up now, can I give her a bath?
And in immediate response, 10:53:54, okay. And then at 11:21 and 20 seconds, he loved an image.
Now, pausing here for a second. What does it mean when you see loved an image in a text message like that?
So with iMessage and RSC and Android, when you get an image or a text message in that you can respond to, you can press and hold that image, and it brings up icons, emojis that you can select and kind of as a quick reply to a message, and that's what we see right here.
So is that kind of like the heart emoji, the thumbs up emoji, the thumbs down exclamation points
Yes, sir.
that you people see responding to messages with in text
Yes, sir.
on an iPhone? So when you see loved an image, but there's no images in this chain of messages, what does that mean to you?
There was a picture here that has been deleted.
So
Objection, Your Honor. I can handle that process.
let's talk about when someone puts a like or a love on an image or a text message. When they do that, what happens inside the phone as far as the data of the phone?
So the database inside the phone records each interaction. And it's called, each transaction is given what's called a row ID. And it's just like an Excel spreadsheet or ruled paper. And each number is used one time. And if that transaction is removed or deleted, that number is deleted, but that number is never reused. So in that database, you will see row IDs, and if there's something that's been removed, the row ID will not be sequential. It will jump around. And, it will be ever increasing, but it will never, if there's something removed, it won't be sequential. It won't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 5, 7. So what numbers removed.
It's possible to delete like a text or a picture from just the user's end of a phone, correct?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Can you delete one of the emoticons like this where you like an image or love an image or emphasize an image on the user-facing end of the phone?
So on the user facing, when you remove the image or whatever was reacted to, it appears that the emoticon or the reaction is removed as well, but in the database, it is not. Only the initial transaction is removed. So the supplemental, the like, is still there, which is why we can see it when we do our extractions, because it's reading that row ID line by line. So whatever was loved is no longer in the database. So, but the database still shows that something was loved.
And that loved an image, what time is that showing on the phone?
That's at 11:21 and 21 seconds on February 1st.
And then going on to the next page, is that another of the same things, but it loved an image?
Yes, 11:21 and 24 seconds. And then it skips to 6:34 p.m., 39 seconds. Says, y'all straight?
At 6:36 and 2 seconds, Danielle texted, I'm gonna go get her medicine. They just called, said it's ready.
And at 6:36, 19 seconds, you replied, what medicine?
At 6:44 and 23 seconds, they said she got low iron.
And at 6:51 and 46 seconds, says, okay, take care of that. Is this because you was low?
At 6:56 and 23 seconds, yeah, both of us taking it.
And 66 and 32 seconds, okay, good.
At 7:02 and 35 seconds, yep, WIDing, what are you doing?
And at 9:24 and 24 seconds p.m. says, hey, what Kennedy doing?
So let's pause there. 9:24 and 24 seconds on February 1st, 2022. Where was Brandon Isabelle's phone?
That device was leaving the area of Cedric and Levi.
Leaving the area of Cedric and Levi after having been there on that street for the second time that day, correct?
Yes.
And it's leaving from Cedric and Levi to go to the shopping center near the Walmart by Stage Road.
That's correct.
And then from that parking lot, that's where the FaceTime call was made from, correct?
At 10:02 p.m., yes, sir. And then at 9:36 and 48 seconds, he sends 3 question marks. And then at 9:51:19, said, guess you didn't talk to me then, or you sleep. Well, good night. Kiss her for me. Then at 10:04 and 35 seconds p.m., said, well, I tried to FaceTime you to see her. Just ain't seen her since this morning. Just call me when y'all wake up, I guess. And then 10:17:59 that evening. Why not my stuff ain't going through? Dude, what is she doing? And then 11:11 and 40 seconds, send me a pic of her.
At 11:11 and 40 seconds, where is Brandon Isabelle's phone?
It's on Mud Island. And then at 12:02:49 on February 2nd, 2022. Well, good night, dude. Give her a kiss for me. Just miss her. That's all. Love y'all.
12:02 and 49 seconds. Is that while he's at the Walgreens at Elvis Presley and Rings?
Yes.
Did you also look at device locations for Artesia Stewart's phone?
Yes. I did the same thing with Artesia's phone that I did with Brandon Isabel's phone. So I extracted the location, the significant locations information from that. I uploaded it into Cellhawk to be able to map it out. And I did from 9:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. on February 1st, 2022.
What does that data show you?
So this is the route overview. The green triangle is where the device started and heads northbound to north downtown Memphis to the red octagon there.
So looking at 9:30 p.m., where is Artesia's phone?
So from 9:30 p.m. to 10:03 p.m., the device was at an address on Stacy Road, right here just north of of Pickett Road, and just east of Neely, Pickett Neely. And there were 84 locations that were mapped at that time.
And in this version, it looks like the points are the actual timestamps that are written on in the place of the points.
Yes.
So it's 10:03 p.m. What direction did Artesia Stewart's device go?
So at 10:03, the device heads from South Memphis to the north part of downtown Memphis, to an address on North 2nd Street.
And so how long is it traveling for?
From 10:03 to 10:28, so 25 minutes.
Let's go back one slide. There's a red flag there in the middle, or kind of in the lower 1/3 of the pink box. What is that red flag?
That pin, that's from the earlier mapping of the Brandon Isabel's phone. That's the homicide scene.
And so that's Levi and Sedgwick?
That is, yes.
During this time window, does her phone go to Levi and the area of Levi and Sedgwick?
It does not.
So at 10:03, it's going back one more slide. At 9:30 to 10:03, it's at the house on Stacy, correct?
That's correct.
From 10:03 to 10:28, it's on the move north towards 2nd Street, you stated?
Yes, sir.
What time does it arrive, and where does it arrive?
And I have that call out button right there to show it at 10:28. That device arrives in the area of the North 2nd Street, and it was there from 10:28 to 11:27 p.m. And you got 25 location hits right there.
So it's there for approximately an hour.
Yes.
Looking down kind of at the path at which it came, kind of looking bottom middle, where it turns on to 2nd Street, is that Chelsea it's coming off of?
No, that is North 2nd Street, and that intersection, that, I don't know, I can't see the street name. It's obscured.
But it's there on North 2nd, close to, is that Brickford to the north?
That is Brickford right there to the north of it, yes.
And the device stays at that location until 11:27 p.m., correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you also look at browser history or web history for Brandon Isabel's device?
I did, yes.
So explain kind of how browser history works on a mobile device.
So just like the database for text messages and calls, the web browsers each have their own database. So whether you're using Chrome or Safari or Opera or Firefox, whatever, they each have their own isolated database. And we can use our software to kind of, what's called, parse out that database and read it and make it human readable. And for this one, it was the Safari database history. I have that right there. So we used the history.db from the Safari.
Which is that Apple's browser that comes preloaded on
Yes.
iPhones?
That is Apple's native browser.
Now, can you delete browsing history on a phone?
Yes.
Can you sometimes still see browsing history that's been deleted on a phone?
Yes, it would depend. So a lot of what phones do to operate very smoothly, they use what's called write-ahead logs, WALs, and journaling. All that is that phone is writing information to a faster piece of the memory so that you can get instantaneous results to what you're looking for. And when the phone kind of slows down or has a minute to breathe, it then writes those transactions to long-term storage, which is that database right there, that history.db. So there are write-ahead logs, and oftentimes write-ahead logs will contain information in them that have been deleted from the actual database itself. So yes, there are times that you can receive or view history that's been deleted from the database because they're in the write-ahead logs. And there's actually an event called wear leveling, where the device will manage its storage to make sure that you get the best bang for your buck, the longest usage out of it without having bad sectors and corrupt memory. And this actually moves the data around on your phone without you interfacing with it at all. And that actually leaves crumbs of that data in other areas. Our software can read that as well.
So the software can pull together these artifacts
Yes,
and put it together in a way that you can read it.
Yes.
And tell it right.
yes.
Your Honor, request permission to pass the document to the witness.
You ready for Miss Hansy, lawyer? Oh, she's not up yet? Oh.
Special Agent Garner, do you recognize that document?
Yes.
What is it?
This is another report run from the UFDR. It just contains the web history from Brandon and Isabel's phone.
Now, we'll pause for a second. Your Honor, this time requesting it be marked as exhibit number 120.
Yes, sir.
And then can we pass back to the witness, please? Now, when you looked at Mr. Brandon and Isabel's search history, did it show whether any of the search or browsing history had been deleted?
Yes,
How much of it had been deleted?
all of it had been deleted.
Were there items recovered?
Yes.
I'd like to direct your attention to the first 3 browsing history entries as they appear on the list. And it might be difficult to read from there. I'm going to launch it on the laptop. Am I requesting permission to publish?
Go ahead, please.
What is item 1?
Item 1 was a website that was visited. The title of it was, "Can all bullets be traced back to exact gun that fired them?" And the website that was queried was Quora.
When was the last date and time that was visited?
That was last visited, it's column right here, on January 30th, 2022 at 5:42 and 54 seconds p.m. Central Time.
Was that piece of browser history deleted?
Yes. And the software will actually tell us, just in red, was it deleted? Yes.
What about number 2?
Number 2, the title was, can you tell what gun a bullet came from? And that was a Google search.
Going back to your PowerPoint, what is this that we're looking at here?
So I took that second column, that URL, and I wanted to kind of break it down so we can know kind of how Google searches work. So what you've got here is the query, the Q, and then can you tell what gun a bullet came from? From Safari. But what you've got right here, that OQ, that's what's called the original query. That's what was actually typed. The query is what Google kind of auto-filled for you. You know, when you start typing, Google starts suggesting. So what was actually queried was, can you, OU, tell what bullet? And from that, Google gave us, can you, or not gave us, but suggested, hey, search this. Can you tell what gun a bullet came from? From that, from what was typed right here to what was actually searched right there.
Is this kind of the same thing that you were just explaining?
Yes. So the original query is what was typed into the search bar by the user, and then the query is what was filled in by Google and then searched.
So going back to here, looking at entry number 1, is that a Google search?
No, that is that's a website that he directed to from the Google search.
So a Google, and when we look at these, is number 1 the most recent in time or oldest in time?
That would be the most recent in time, and then we're descending in time.
So we're going back each time with
Yes.
each number.
5:42, 54 seconds, 5:42 and 30 seconds. So we're going backwards.
So the search query starts with number 3, correct?
Yes,
Goes to number 2, correct?
yes,
And then number 3, that is a link that he clicked on to go to that web page.
yes.
And the title of the page. Now, where do you see that on your browser when you're looking at a website?
So when you open up a browser, you have the tabs at the top, because everybody's tab browsing now. The title of the web page is actually in the tab of that browser, and that's what would be displayed in the tab of that browser.
So on January 30th of 2022, at 5:42 and 30 seconds p.m., Brandon Isabelle's phone Googled the operator of that phone. Can you tell what bullet a gun came from?
Yes,
And then whoever was operating that phone clicked on the link to a web page titled, "Can all bullets be traced back to the exact gun that fired them?"
that's correct.
Going back just slightly before in the history, what was searched at 5:42 and 29 seconds p.m. on the same day, January 30th, 2022?
You can see the query right there, NBA games today, on the Safari browser. And that's what we get right there, NBA games today, Google search.
So going from NBA games today to can you tell what gun a bullet came from, what's the time difference between those two queries?
They are right after each other, 5:42:29 and then 5:42:29.
So it appears that the query, whoever was operating the phone went straight from querying about NBA games today to can you tell what gun a bullet comes from?
Yes, sir.
Going back just slightly further. January 30th, 2022 at 12:14 and 18 seconds a.m. What web page is Mr. Isabelle's phone on?
We're on the jared.com webpage, and it's actually at the cart of that webpage. You see the cart page for Jared.
Jared.com as in the jeweler?
Yes.
I'm getting
And
madder
as
and
we scroll
madder.
down, is this more web queries on jared.com?
Yes, and you can see the personalized.jared.com. of those are pages within the jared.com domain. And the title, Wedding Rings, Watches, Diamonds, and More. Jared, the Gallery of Jewelry.
Is he even divorced from his first wife at this time?
Directing your attention to number 39. What do we see there?
We've landed on a page that's jared.com/120 CTTW diamond colored stone couples ring.
When was he visiting a page with
It's
that
at,
URL?
January 30th, 2022 at 12:11 and 57 seconds a.m.
So the queries and web page visits to Jared, searching for what NBA games are on today, and can you tell what bullet a gun comes from? All that on January 30th of 2022.
Yes, sir.
Stay with Pastor Linus.
Please approach. Pardon me. Wake up.
Was he even divorced from the first wife yet? I am getting madder and madder and madder the more they talk. How casually can you tell what gun a bullet came out of, and then the next second, what NBA games are on tonight? And the description of the ring, diamond colored ring. Diamond colored ring. What does that mean? It wasn't even a real diamond? Like, what did he buy her? And why is the court TV thing up? Does that mean that they're done for the day? Okay, they're back. I'm like, what was that? Oh, Wiggles, I'm sorry. I'm glad it's back on. Is it back on? Has to be back on, right? Or you wouldn't be here. What a POS. What is wrong with men? And don't tell me there's not, because this is the second case in a row. It's almost identical.
You've heard this so many times before. I mean, you get so excited when I say it.
Okay, what's wrong with
Now,
these
seems like
kind
we're
of
at a
men?
breaking point. Go enjoy your evening.
Oh, we're done.
Right.
Okay.
No discussion of anything we learned today. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy. We're going to do a modified schedule tomorrow. For those of you who like to sleep in, you'll get an extra hour. Just one extra hour. Just one. So the quicker I get you in, the quicker I get you out. So I'm thinking we start at 10. I need you in the box at 10.
Tomorrow's
And then we'll end
Saturday.
by 4 so you can catch whatever sport. Okay? Sport. So, enjoy. Dinner will be served shortly. I should have told you to find a gym friend. I'm sorry.
What?
Where is... Never mind. Where's Johnson? To help the people. All right, so you heard my directives. I need you all in the building no later than 9:30. I want you at this table no later than 9:35. I want them in that box at 10, and we get to work. We push through. You want Sunday off, you're gonna have to earn it. Okay?
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah.
Is she
All right.
serious?
This court now adjourned to 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
She's serious. Is she serious? Are we having court tomorrow? Is she serious? Okay, guys. Well, I guess we're back at 10 tomorrow. Okay. We're back at 10 tomorrow. Do you guys want to do Betty at 8? Or do you want to let me sleep in on the weekend? Or maybe I can make the decision. If I get up early enough, we'll do Betty. And if I decide to sleep in, then we'll do this at 10. I can't believe we're doing this on the weekend. Who does she think she is? Oh, you have pretend to work tomorrow. Okay. I can't believe that she's going to make them come in on a Saturday. Oh my goodness. I thought she just didn't realize it was Friday. But then she said if y'all went off on Sunday, you got to earn it. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. 10 o'clock. I'll see you guys in the morning. Have a good evening. Be kind to people. Love your family. And Jesus loves you. And so do I. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming out. Hopefully tomorrow will not be as boring. We have cross with Mrs. Attorney Wigglehand. Is that what you called her, Judy? Is that her name? Wiggle Fingers? What's her name? Did you forget your nickname for her? I forgot it. Judy doesn't like her because she does this towards the witness while she's talking to them. It's like waggle hand, Attorney Waggle Hand. Bye guys, love you. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.